The energy across social media shifted instantly the moment Cardi B hopped online and started bragging on her man, Stefon Diggs. And not in a playful, throwaway way. This was full-chested pride, full-volume affection, the kind of public adoration that lets the world know this relationship is not temporary, not shaky, not something they're hiding behind closed doors. Cardi was celebrating Stefon's new furniture line, but the real headline was the message behind it. According to several fan-captured screen recordings, she allegedly told the world, "I don't need to work. My man has 2 jobs." The comment blew up faster than the clip itself, sparking cheers, criticism, confusion, and a whole lot of think pieces nobody asked for. Within minutes, the internet split into camps. Some fans took it as pure, wholesome pride, a woman hyping up the father of her newborn son, celebrating his discipline, his ambition, his branding, and the fact that he's building multiple income streams outside football. Others, though, started twisting it into tension, framing the statement as dependent, dangerous, or Cardi is trolling us again. What made everything messier is that insiders allege she's been quietly supporting every single step of Stefon's off-the-field empire. So her brag wasn't just performative, it was personal. Meanwhile, the clip of Stefon presenting his furniture pieces at a behind-the-scenes brand event started circulating. You could see Cardi in the corner, recording him, smiling, clearly proud. Reported attendees say she kept telling people he works so hard and pointing out the craftsmanship, the details, the aesthetic. Fans believe she was trying to spotlight the seriousness of his second business, not just flex money. The narrative wasn't, "he pays my bills," it was, "my man is grinding and I admire him." But leave it to the internet to complicate something simple. By afternoon, trending threads were accusing Cardi of throwing away her independence, despite the obvious fact that she's one of the most financially powerful women in hip-hop. Others claim she was shading her critics, who constantly speculate about her career longevity. A few even theorized she was indirectly responding to people who assumed Stefon wasn't as invested in their relationship. Suddenly, a cute moment turned into a digital battlefield. Of course, the reactions got louder once gossip blogs started recycling the quote without context. Several pages wrote things like, "Cardi says she doesn't need to work anymore," which fans quickly debunked with receipts showing she explicitly framed it as praise for Stefon's multitasking, not a retirement announcement. One fan commented, "Y'all reaching. She's hyping her man the way she should. Stop trying to create a crisis." Another wrote, "This is so cute. She's in love and it shows." But the controversy didn't stop there. Reported insiders claim that Stefon's family has been watching the reactions quietly, and some are allegedly worried about how the media will spin his new furniture venture now that Cardi tied her name to it publicly. For athletes, off-field branding is delicate. The wrong narrative can overshadow strategy, and fans believe Stefon doesn't want the business to look like a celebrity couple's project instead of his own long-planned passion. Then comes the deeper layer. Ever since Cardi and Stefon welcomed their baby boy 3 months ago, their entire dynamic has shifted. Supporters who follow both stars closely insist Cardi has adopted a much more grounded, family-oriented tone online. The praise she gave Stefon wasn't about money, it was about partnership. But critics, as always, chose the loudest interpretation rather than the most logical one. And that tension began fueling a new thread. Is the public misreading Cardi's message, or did she open a door that invites these assumptions? As hours passed, the comment section only grew more dramatic. Some fans joked, "Cardi is living the dream, why all mad?" While others pressed deeper, pointing out how the entertainment world reacts differently when a woman publicly uplifts a man than when a man braggingly uplifts a woman. One viral comment read, "Y'all cheer when men say it, but when Cardi says it, suddenly she's irresponsible?" That comment alone racked up thousands of likes. At the same time, footage surfaced of Stefon at a private dinner later that night, where he toasted to "building something for my kids to inherit." The clip is rumored to be from after Cardi posted her message, and fans believe it proves her praise wasn't random, it was tied to a bigger moment, a milestone he'd been working quietly toward for months. Still, the twist that really sent people into detective mode came when a separate insider described Cardi as emotional and protective over Stefon's work ethic lately. The insider claimed Cardi has seen him balancing NFL demands, fatherhood, and entrepreneurship simultaneously, and she wanted the world to understand how much weight he's been carrying. Whether this account is exaggerated or not, fans argue it explains why she worded her message the way she did. The moment this new wave of reactions hit, the temperature in the discourse shifted instantly. Overnight, more insiders came forward with their own alleged recollections, and the tone got darker. People who had stayed silent for years suddenly claimed they were ready to set the record straight, and the timing raised eyebrows everywhere. Were they genuinely fed up, or were they riding the momentum because the story was already spiraling? That question hung in the air as each new voice added another layer of tension. Then came the alleged audio clips circulating in private group chats, supposedly capturing a heated exchange involving someone very close to the situation. No one could confirm if the voice was real, manipulated, or completely fabricated, but that didn't stop fans from dissecting it frame by frame, syllable by syllable. The clip sounded emotional, frustrated, almost tired, and people online swore they recognized certain inflections. Others pushed back, warning that deepfake culture is too advanced to trust anything without forensic verification. Meanwhile, a well-known industry executive jumped into the conversation with a cryptic, borderline ominous post. They didn't name drop anyone, but the insinuation was impossible to miss. They claim that some reputations have been protected for decades and that a reckoning was long overdue. This single statement ignited a fresh blaze of speculation, especially because the timing aligned perfectly with the alleged revelations already circulating. As the news gained velocity, lawyers reportedly began reaching out to platforms about potential defamation issues. That alone raised the stakes. When attorneys step in, the atmosphere changes. It signals that what was once gossip territory might be inching closer to something more consequential. Even major gossip bloggers, usually fearless, started choosing their words more carefully, peppering everything with disclaimers and distancing language. But the emotional reactions were the true center of gravity. One camp expressed genuine heartbreak, saying they felt blindsided because they had always believed the public narrative. Another camp felt vindicated, insisting they had sensed something off for years. And of course, a third camp remained unmoved, arguing that the entertainment industry is built on carefully curated illusions, so nothing should shock anyone anymore. Inside circles whispered that the situation wasn't even at its peak yet. According to alleged insiders, what the public had seen so far was only surface level, and bigger, more explosive elements were quietly being verified before anyone dared to go fully public. That alone poured gasoline on the conversation, because if what had already emerged was the surface, what on earth to be deeper? At the same time, people close to the individuals involved reportedly began expressing anxiety about the emotional toll. Alleged friends described the atmosphere as tense, phone calls being ignored, long silences between people who were normally in constant communication. Some even claimed that individuals were isolating themselves, trying to avoid triggering further speculation. Online commentators also pointed out the power imbalance in the narrative. When a figure with decades of influence is at the center, the ripple effects hit everyone connected to them. Careers, partnerships, alliances, long-standing networks all feel the tremor. That's exactly what people speculated was happening now. Doors closing, calls not being returned, collaborations being reconsidered. As the dust continued swirling, new alleged footage surfaced, but this time it didn't contain any drama. Instead, it was a calm moment, someone simply walking into a studio, minding their business. Yet even that got scrutinized, because viewers read into body language, posture, facial expressions, tone. It was another reminder that once a firestorm begins, even the most mundane actions look like clues. By the end of the night, one thing was clear. The narrative had expanded far beyond the initial spark. What started as a set of alleged tensions had turned into a sprawling web of emotional reactions, insider commentary, shifting alliances, and uncertain motives. And based on what insiders hinted at, the situation wasn't anywhere near cooling down.